If you're struggling to climb in ranked, you probably want to get an edge in any way, shape, or form. And as long as you're not cheating or getting boosted, everything is fair game. Hey guys, it's Kompeki here, and after spending countless hours coaching players to Immortal and Radiant, I've noticed that some sneaky tips can actually be the key in winning you free rounds. That's why I've put together a list of 20 tips that feel illegal but aren't, and secure more rounds without wasting hours learning boring lineups or strats. The first tip you may have seen but never tried is boosting your teammates to new heights. With certain boxes or vertical angles on maps like Bind, you can get on top of these areas without any utility at all. That means agents you never expect, like a Brimstone or Sky, could appear in these absolutely wild and unexpected off angles where they normally could never be. To do this, go into a box like Triple and have a teammate trap you in the corner. Ask them to crouch, then push into you as you jump. Eventually, you'll get on top of Triple or areas like it. And even more interesting still is that you can use your own utility to help your teammates boost onto angles as well. If you're on agents like Raze or Sage, you can give your teammates very easy boosts as well. These different methods can make a strong play even stronger through these new angles. So try it out for yourself to see how many different spots you can get to. And if new heights aren't your thing, maybe you can buy some high penetration guns for this next tip, since almost every part of Valorant's maps are paper thin. Take our newest map, Corrode, as an example. Some of the craziest wallbangs you may not have known can change the outcome of a round. Like here on the A site, as a defender, you can use the window to spam with Odins as a scan initiator or a sentinel when enemies activate your utility. However, if you're an attacker, you can plant the spike against the wall to create unique spam lineups to play with yourself. On the B site, you may already know of a similar property for the hut, but did you know even a medium penetration weapon can do the same thing? While it's not on the bricks, it's instead done from heaven, making it possible for defenders or attackers to spam the plant with normal weapons. Every map has some form of spam, so take some time in custom servers to find them yourself. Now, let's say you somehow messed up the plant and you need a drop from heaven. Did you know there's a way for you to fall in an almost illegal way if you're playing Killjoy? You can silent drop with your turret. Test this out, go to the belt as an attacker on Icebox and throw your cage turret onto the floor. As it's being set up, drop before it finishes loading, and bam, you've made zero noise on the drop. Now, while being stealthy is fun, another trick that every agent can use to change the pace is to use the doors on Lotus to get a nice glide while rotating. Whether you're an attacker or a defender, the doors rotating give you a slight boost if you jump into them and strafe at the right angle. Even better still, if you're on Jet or Neon, the doors give you an insane speed boost when combined with your dash or slide, making you feel almost like an old school Foon video. Now, if you remember our first tip, I mentioned boosting your teammates, but did you know there's an agent that can boost themselves without a movement ability? Normally, you can see agents like Chamber, Raze, or Jet use some ability to gain some verticality. However, an agent people may not know that has the ability to self-boost is Yoru. Yoru can get onto higher vertical areas by using his TP and a clone to gain access to areas he otherwise couldn't. And if you want to reach agent mastery to compete at the highest level, like our student TMS who recently hit Radiant, and Zay who hit 900 RR Radiant in EU, then look no further than the Immortal Roadmap program. IRP is for serious players like you who want hands-on help from world-class coaches to perfect their gameplay. So if you're tired of feeling lost in your games and you're tired of having to rely on luck just to get good teammates, use the link below to book a call with me or one of our coaches to see if you qualify for our 500 RR in 10 weeks money back guarantee. Now, we all miss the old pings for spike spamming a bit, but that doesn't mean you can't still find ways around the nerf. For this next tip, my Cypher mains should try using their cage as a ping for the spike. For the small price of 100 credits, you can plant the spike, place the cage, then time travel back to a simpler time of spike spamming through even smoke diffusing defenders. The neat part about this trick is you can also play spam as a defender by using your cage in the same way. So if you want to play off-site and spam common areas for attackers to enter, go place some cages down for reference on the choke points and get some free kills. And fun fact, this same trick can be used on Astra or any other agent that has pre-placed visible utility. However, the reason Cypher and Astra are the best agents for this trick is because the cage and star can never be fully destroyed until you are. So make sure you communicate with your team while you're baiting them to spam the spike in the future. And speaking of lineups for cages, there's another smoke ability that can help you create lineups on the fly. Brimstone smokes can create new and unique lineups from anywhere on the map. All you have to do is smoke the area that you want to use a lineup for, throw your molly, and then watch the magic happen. Keep in mind though, your smoke will cover whatever area you're mollying, so if you're smoking the spike to throw a crazy improvised lineup, just communicate to your team to make sure they know why they got smoked off. Now, mollies and grenades are an important tool for many Valorant agents, but did you know many of the nades and mollies you know match other pieces of utility? When you look closely, KJ, Gecko, KO, Viper, and Deadlock all match the same lineups for their respective grenades. Well, for Viper's orb, that can be a grenade. However, her Molly does something absolutely cool. It also matches Sage's slows and Vice's thorns. Let me know in the comments if you know any other agents that match utility like this. And unlike agent-specific utility, jump spotting is something every agent can use with no need to translate. With that in mind, there's some tech you may not have heard of called silent jump spotting. To demonstrate this, take a look at A main on Corrode. Normally, to contest this space, you might see a dart, smoke, or something direct in terms of info gathering. But if you go next to the box, right next to the defender barrier, you can jump spot this silently by using shift and crouch together and have enough time to safely escape if anyone appears next to you. Now, this next tip may be jarring. And in fact, it may be the most illegal sounding tip yet. You can bait your teammates who are throwing in a way that can actually help you win your games. Now, I know what you might be thinking, Becky, if my teammates are running it down, I have no control over the rest of the round. And although I felt the same way at times, that doesn't mean bad teammates have to ruin your chances at winning. Take a look at this clip here. This Neon in context was running it down on multiple rounds. However, the rest of the team hadn't given up yet despite multiple arguments. As the Neon is running it down into the B site, the rest of the team is making noise on A, and the Cypher is following the Neon up B silently. This gives them the timing for a free trade and a setup to get into the B site, which leads to a free post plant and a good setup for the team. There are many situations like this in your own games where you can use throwers to your advantage, so make the most out of a bad situation. Now, I know dealing with throwers are tough, but what can be even tougher is dealing with the chaos of Valorant's utility. That's why you can practice breaking utility by playing ISO in the range. Let me explain. All you have to do is turn on the practice spots, pop your shield, and bam, start shooting some bots. When your shield pops up, you can mimic breaking utility from other agents by practicing your flicks. Sova darts, fade eyes, cameras. Imagine anything you struggle breaking whenever you break a shield. And even better, change up where you stand and start popping that shield, and bam, more ways to practice. And just like breaking and using utility, everyone needs to practice how to clutch up fights, which is why this illegal feeling tip may catch you by surprise. Stop using utility for every solution and start focusing on shooting your gun more. For example, I see a lot of ISO players who constantly dump their vulnerable, wall, and pop their shield off the rip every single round, then wonder why they struggle in later parts of the round. The reality is, Valorant at the end of the day is an FPS first and a hero shooter second. Now, instead of having to rely so much on your utility, what if you can use the enemy's utility to your advantage? Have you ever dealt with a one-way on A main for Sunset and wondered how the heck you're supposed to deal with it as an attacker? Well, depending on the utility, you can walk in front or inside the one-way to catch players off guard. Hear me out, this is highly risky, but if you're dealing with a scan utility or dry fights, you can totally disrespect the one-way or use it to push ahead of the darts that normally scan you. And with scans in mind, did you know Sova has vertical movement tricks in his kit? And no, this has nothing to do with his drone. On the last ultimate charge for Sova's ultimate, he can use this to go onto areas similar to a Raze Satchel or Jet's updraft. While expensive, you can catch your opponents off guard if you can pull it off in the right time and place. And have you ever seen Deadlock's wall or KJ's turret as an artificial cover before? Well, check this out. Anytime you want an extra layer of protection from a headshot and want to use your utility outside the box, try using these to gain an edge. And another thing you may not have known is that for certain pieces of utility, you can improvise on the fly to get a perfect landing spot every time. Anytime you ping on the map to 25 meters, you can make it so KO's flash and Fade's eye land in the perfect spot every single time. Try it out for yourself to see if you can create the next Toto level flash. And if flashes aren't difficult for you, what about DMing in almost total silence? Well, relative to silence really, something I discovered is that if you turn off your player UI while deathmatching, you can turn off the kill sounds and kill feed, which helps you lock in on pure fundamental sounds without the loud musical A sounds that stack up. And speaking of customizing your deathmatches, have you ever taken the time to learn this jet trick? Super dashing is something you may have heard of before, but not seen in rank. To do it, go to a map like Icebox, go to this part of the ramp in attacker spawn, then line up here to prep the dash. Once you're lined up, pop your dash and combo this with your updraft after you dash into the object and fly into the air. This gives you a chance to see over the map in a way you've never experienced before. I hope this tip gets enough attention for Riot to fix it though. Another way to experience another iconic duelist is to do the Neon Super Slide. Much like Jet's tech, this can give you an edge when going for out of the box plays. In this case, let's head over to Lotus to try out this final tip. Come over to the A site on Lotus to drop and watch what Temet does here to get an idea of what this should look like.
He TP'd and canceled.
That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.